All right, let's talk COVID in the city. Ontario's lockdown, of course, continues for a couple more weeks. The COVID numbers in the province showing no sign of slowing down. Are the restrictions having any effect? Is it likely the vaccine rollout will go to plan? With his take this morning, we welcome back University of Ottawa epidemiologist Dr. Raywat Deonandan. Good morning. Thank you for your time as always.
Good morning.
So last hour we had one of your UO colleagues who was monitoring the wastewater and says that while the numbers are going up slowly but surely, sadly, he's also saying that we haven't peaked yet like we did back in October. We're also being told prepare for the worst month yet in January. What's your take on that?
Oh, he's absolutely right. The major reason, of course, is people were having a lot more exposures or interactions in the early part of December, and the restrictions, the lockdowns, only came into effect a couple of days ago, so it's way too early for that to show an effect. We're yet to see the effects of the human interactions that happened weeks ago, so the peak is definitely ahead of us.
So the question being, should the lockdown go beyond 28 days?
Well, it's not for me to say, but I think it will, because it'll take a long time for us to undo the actions that were taken a few weeks ago. And also, the entire Northern Hemisphere is having a rough time with this disease right now. And so this is the worst time of the pandemic possibly before the vaccine does its job.
You know, of course, politicians, we're up to 18 now, have left the country basically saying, you know, do as I say, not as I do. Do you worry that that's going to undermine the messaging, the trust, and therefore could actually add to the problem?
Oh, yeah. We have a crisis of trust in this country overall. Trust in our leaders, trust in our scientists, trust in our doctors, trust in everything, trust in our media people. And when the leaders do not do what they are supposed to do and what they're expecting us to do, of course, the entire house of cards might come tumbling down. So I'm deeply disappointed.
How do you feel about the rollout of vaccines? There are thousands still sitting in freezers when they should be in people's arms. Shouldn't they be?
It's mystifying. I mean, this should be our number one priority as public health people. And frankly, the rate limiting step, I would think, would be healthcare workers, but there is no shortage of doctors and nurses volunteering their time to get this done on a 24/7 basis. So I think they need to really look at the resources they have available. By that, I mean the family doctors willing to step up and volunteer their time, facilities willing to donate their establishments and so forth. I don't think all the resources have been properly leveraged yet.
Do you worry about the logistics when the tap is turned on and suddenly we're getting hundreds of thousands, potentially every week to millions every month?
Of vaccines or
yeah.
of
Do you think we'll be able to handle that flow?
I think, yeah, I'm not too concerned about our ability to process supply. I'm concerned about our ability to meet demand. So bring the vaccines, and let the magic of administration do its proper job. I mean, in this country, we have all the right professionals to handle procurement and logistics and flow. Let's just have them do a good job at it. So it's kind of like the flu vaccines in previous years. We have the infrastructure to manage it. Let's just make it happen.
How do you feel what they're doing in Quebec, where they've decided to extend the amount of time between shot 1 and shot 2 past the recommended 21 days as they're looking at it overseas as well? Do you think that's a good idea? The goal here is to get more in the arm.
Right. It's not clear what the right answer is, but if it were up to me, I would say no, don't do it, because the only data we have to go by is what was published in the clinical trials. And the clinical trials only tell us about the efficacy of that first dose after about 21 or 28 days. And after that, we just don't know. It's probably fine, to be honest, but we don't know. And from where I sit, the stakes are much too high to be messing with the protocol.
To wrap it up here, is there some optimism going into 2021? Do you see trends, behaviors, vaccine rollout? I mean, give me a high note here, if you can, Doc.
Look, the vaccines exist and manufacturing is being scaled up at an enormous rate. We're going to be flooded with the vaccines very, very soon. So I think we're going to be out of this sometime this year.
Which is important to hear that message so that people continue to follow the rules in the meantime.
That's right.
All right. Raywat Deonandan, epidemiologist, U of O. It's always good to talk to you. Happy New Year, Doc, and all that.
Happy New Year.
Thanks.